Hi everyone, my name is Frankie Delgado with QED Energy Associates, and today I'm going to go over how to import new daily history, monthly history, and ownership values into PHDwin V3. Okay, so I have my V3 database made right here. It has 20 cases in it, and that's about it. So first thing I'm going to do in here is set up a view to where I can see what I'm working with. So I'm going to go to the top right up here on the Home tab to the View section. I'm going to drop that down and go to Standard. That's the one I like the best. I do like to edit it just a tiny bit though. I'm going to get rid of this 30-year graph down here at the bottom. I'm going to take the 70-year one and I'm going to drag it right over here next to behind case settings and let it go. And now I have that tab up, or that graph up here on a tab with everything else. Everything's nice and clean like that. I like it. So if we look at our daily production, I do not have any daily production for any of these cases in here. Just click through a few. And then on our monthly production, I have monthly production all the way through December 2022. So after that, I don't have any monthly production for any of my cases. Also, on my ownership tab, I can see that I have just the standard 175 values. So every case just has that on it, it's just default, and I don't want to run those. I like to import my own values for ownership, and that's fine. I can do all that pretty quickly. So I have three spreadsheets I've already created, one for daily history, monthly history, and ownership. The daily history I have split apart by case ID for different cases. It's a PHDwin value, and that I think works pretty best for importing. You can see it goes 1, and then we scroll down and see it change 2, 3, 4, 5, all that, all the way up to 20. And I have date right here, so it's a daily date, so it's the first, second, third, fourth, all that. And then values for each date for gas, oil, and water. My monthly spreadsheet is set up pretty much the same thing, except instead of daily dates, I just have monthly dates. So here's January for all 20 cases, and here would be February for all 20 cases. I got the gas values, the oil value, and the water value. My ownership spreadsheet I have set up similar but different because it's ownership, not history. So I have my case ID right here as a primary import ID code. I have my working interest, my revenue interest, and my NRI. I've also got a qualifier column right here with FD filled out for every case. FD are just my initials, Frankie Delgado. I'll talk about that a little later, but right now we're just going to go ahead and start setting everything up and importing everything. I do have each one of these spreadsheets saved as .csv. I will need to have them saved as .csv. I like to have them saved as .csv to import best. So let's go back to PHDwin. First thing let's go ahead and import the monthly production, so fill that out. So if I go over here to the Home tab and then go to add/import, I go to the import option of that. And in here, the first thing I want to do is find and select my monthly CSV, because that's what I want to import for first. So click the ellipses button right here in the select files section and find my monthly.csv file. And click open, and now that's got the monthly file path in there. Down here, a few options. ID code to match primary import ID. In my spreadsheets, remember I said I was using the case ID. You can use other IDs if you want to. They should be in here, whichever you want, as long as it's a case ID, or as long as it's an ID code, that is. Case ID, I think that usually works best. If no matching ID is found, I have it set to skip unmatched cases. You can tell it to add new cases. So if I, for some reason, had an ID code, a case ID in my spreadsheet of 500, maybe on accident, what it would do if I have add new cases in, it would make a new case with that, for that one right there with the data. I don't want that. I'm just going to do skip unmatched cases. I shouldn't have any in there, and if I do, I don't want them added to my database. Display log. I always like to see the log, see if something goes wrong or see how it went, and so on and so forth. You can set it to just show on error, basically if something goes wrong, show you, or never show you. I'm just going to leave it on always. Everything else is set up the way I want it. So if I have those set up right, and then I have my import file set up right, I'm just going to click on map data. And then right here, I'm bringing to my import mapping. So the first, it shows right here on the left, the columns. Those are what they're actually called in my Excel spreadsheet. So I see case ID, date, gas, oil, and water. And this is for my monthly import. And I can see it already matched the first one with case ID. So that's fine. Next, I just need to go ahead and match these to their proper PHDwin fields. I like to go top to bottom when I do this, when I'm matching. So I'm doing production volumes right now, so that would be production volumes right there. So I'm going to expand that PHDwin field. So the first one I'm going to look for is date, and that would be in here as production date. So I'm going to click that and drag it over here right next to date. You can see how that's green. Let it go, and it's production date right next to date. Do the same for the next three. So gas, that would be gas production prod date, right there. Oil, that should be oil production prod date, right there. And then water, water production prod date, right there. And I just like to make sure that I have all fields set right. Sometimes I might actually put one in the wrong spot. That's just me. I just want to make sure I haven't done that. So case ID, cool. Date, production date, gas production prod date, oil production prod date, and then water production prod date. All looks great to me. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the import button, and it's probably going to go pretty fast because we only have 20 cases. So let's see, import. And there we go. And I can see it automatically updates in the tab I'm looking at. So my cases went from 2022 December all the way through April of 2024, and I've got values there, and it looks like it worked all right. I can scroll through here, and I don't really see anything that looks out of the ordinary, so it looks about right. So I am happy with the way that worked out. Next, we're going to be putting in the daily production data, which still exists as just nothing in our database. So we basically do it the same way. So on the Home tab, I'm going to go to Add Import, and then Import once again. I have to change my import file though, so I'm going to click on this button right here and then find my daily Excel spreadsheet, daily.csv. I'm going to open that. It should save all of your options from your last import, so these all look good to me, so I'm not going to change any of them. I'm going to click on Map Data, and we see that it automatically matched our ID code, so our columns from columns from the Excel spreadsheet. It automatically matched them to the PHDwin fields. Why did it do that in this case? I'll tell you why. Because when I made that PHDwin spreadsheet, for the Excel spreadsheet for our daily data, I used the actual headers I made were what they're actually called in PHDwin. They match the fields. So if I have the field names right here, the same as the Excel spreadsheet name, the header names in the Excel spreadsheet, it will auto map it. All right, so that's good. That makes it a lot easier to do. I didn't have that in my monthly import. I just had it as gas, oil, water. So that's why I had to actually find gas, went with gas production prod date and so on, right? But in my daily one, I have gas daily prod date, and it saw, oh, I know what gas daily prod date is, so I went ahead and auto mapped it. And that's great. That makes it so much easier. So I had that done, and once I have that, that automatically maps it, you know? If they didn't automatically map it, I'd have to find it myself. Daily production, you know, things like gas, daily prod date, you know, oil daily prod date, and water daily prod date. But again, I didn't have to because it knew what it was. So I have that already set up. I'm gonna go ahead and click import. And that's probably pretty fast too. There we go. And it will automatically load right there. So now I see my daily production goes all the way through June 2025. And I can click through different cases, and it should be on all my cases at the same date. Great. So far, I have updated the monthly production to the latest data I have available, and the daily production to the latest data I could get for daily production as well. Great. Really easy to do, real quick. Last one I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and update the ownership for my database with the values I have in my spreadsheet. So to do that, again, we're going to start at the same steps. Go on the Home tab, go to Add Import, and then Import. Now I need to find my ownership file right now, so I'm going to click on this button right here, and then find my own.fd. So I put own.fd because the FD is my initials, right, and I have that set as a qualifier in there. You can actually put dots in the names of these imports, the import files, so that can be helpful. So I'm going to hit Open. And all these still are the same. Just going to quickly look at them. They look fine. Map data. So I didn't have these set to be the exact same as they should be, so I'm just going to click and drag over here. It's no big deal. So these are economic values. They would be in the economic section right here. So let's see, working interest. So initial working interest, that's what I need. So I'm just going to click that and drag it right here. And then revenue interest, initial revenue interest, click and drag that right here. And then NRI, initial lease NRI, put that right there. Now there's a spot right here, qualifier, which I had in my spreadsheet. What I can do with that is pretty cool. So let's actually find where qualifier is. It, I believe, is in other. Yep, it's in the other section. So there's this qualifier option right here. I'm going to click that and drag that over to qualifier. What that's going to do, that's going to import these ownership values under the qualifier FD that I have set up. As the database stands right now, there is no qualifier FD. If there was, it would import them into that qualifier. But right now, what it's going to do is it's going to make a qualifier called FD and put these ownership values in that qualifier. If I wanted to have them just go into the default qualifier, then I wouldn't have this column in here, and it would just import, the values into the default qualifier. So the fact that I'm specifying where I want to go, it's pretty cool. So once I have this set up how I want in the qualifier I want and the actual matched up with the values, I can go ahead and click import. See that going. And there we go. And I can see that my ownership values, they didn't change, right? But that's exactly what I wanted. Because right now I'm just on the default scenario, and this default scenario is set up just to use default qualifiers for everything. If I go to my database settings and then scenarios and qualifiers, I can see that I now have an FD qualifier. So I'm going to click edit. And once I get in here, I'm actually going to expand my default qualifier list. I'm going to drag FD over to the ownership section for my default scenario. So now everything's default except the ownership, which starts off with FD and then goes to default. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to exit edit mode real quick. And if I go back to my ownership tab on a case, now I see that's not that 175 again. These are actually the values that I loaded in, and they are stored under that FD qualifier, which I told it to load them in as. And I can look back and forth down here at the bottom. I can switch between qualifiers. So I can switch back to the default. This is just a view, by the way. I can do the default scenario or qualifier, and that's still 175. Back to FD. Those are the values that I want to import in here. Yep. So that's just a real quick run through on how to import a few things into PHDwin V3 and how easy it can be. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.